Impeach. Don't impeach.
That's what I said. That's
No obstruction. No collusion.
Well, I'm not a crook.
We have been given a set of facts.
Russia, if you're listening.
Collected and analyzed. Detailed in a 400-page report
Smoking gun.
by the men and women of the United States Department of Justice.
We got him.
This is the case against the president.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society.
Part 6, The Tortoise and the Hare. The Trump Organization was working on a Trump-branded property in Moscow as early as 2013. Who would have known this in real time? This guy? Yeah.
Knew about the interference back in August. Why wait until after the election to take action?
Well, and that was the dilemma here.
Who else? Where did that information come from?
Já mluvím česky perfektně, víš, tak I speak the language fluently.
Yes, a lot of it. But I'm thinking more along the lines of this.
I've helped both the FBI and CIA on other things in the past. We've had tens of hours of discussions, and I've spent a lot of time in Langley previously. So it's been an ongoing dialogue.
Why have you been...
The big question is, what agency was Carter Page working for? That is the situation we find ourselves in. Classified intelligence being selectively disseminated in order to bolster a political agenda. What parts don't fit get tossed aside, left inside the classified servers, and the American people are left to decide with only limited facts, or some comparable alternative thereof. Who collected those facts? That's what I'm talking about. The grapevine always hears it first. The ones in the know, the traders of gossip. They know the facts because it is their duty to know. They report the facts as they are to the political powers that be. After that, that's when things start to look like this. Or this. And this. Don't forget about this. And this. Selective censorship of the truth unfairly empowers one over the other, like the first leader who learned the knowledge of the cycles of the sun. At the start of the solar eclipse, he stands before the people and says, "See? And I will only bring it back if you pay." Only if you pay. Do us a favor, though. It certainly would be a shame if.
And I'm going to mess your life up for the rest, for as long as you're on this freaking planet.
A guy walked up on me and said to me, "Leave Trump alone, forget the story."
Take her out, okay? Let's do it.
I'm warning you. Tread very lightly, because what I'm going to do to you is going to be disgusting.
And then he leaned around and looked at my daughter and said, a beautiful little girl, it'd be a shame if something happened to her mom.
I'd like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
Starting in 2010, the Senate and the House were under GOP control. 10 years. And they were briefed well before any of us knew what Russia was planning. Well, it seems some people, familiar with business acquisitions abroad, knew as well.
And I have clear eyes on this. I'm not going to wear rose-colored glasses when it comes to Russia or Mr. Putin. And I'm certainly not going to say to him, I'll give him more flexibility after the election. After the election, he'll get more back.
Of course. Always follow the money. And now, just do as the Romans do.
How a McConnell-backed effort to lift Russian sanctions boosted a Kentucky project.
Yet each time we try to raise our defenses and repel the attack, McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, blocks us from defending ourselves.
While Senate Republicans block election security legislation just hours after Bob Mueller testified. In case there's any doubt about Russia, which there should not be.
Yet on this central question, the special counsel's finding is clear. Case closed.
A new report from the Intel Committee shows just how aggressive Moscow was.
Our top political priority over the next 2 years should be to deny President Obama a second term.
And how unprepared the U.S. was to deal with it.
There are a lot of us who fully understand what happened in 2016, and it really better not happen again in 2018.
When we look back at the tactics undertaken by these past administrations to further their agendas we now know to be ill-conceived, how were these agendas directed? How were their plans carried out? Just like the story of the tortoise and the hare. Slow and steady wins the race. Looking at all of the evidence, Can we conclude Donald J. Trump's meticulous attention to detail and his high-level management skills are responsible for the last 3 years of accomplishments of this administration? This agenda predates anything being cooked up today. All of the chaos and unrest serves the interests of one man. I suppose in this instance it could be either one, the tortoise or the hare. Stand up for the rule of law.
I'm not an impartial juror. This is a political process. There's not anything judicial about it. Impeachment is a political decision.
Stand up for the rule of law.